Hey, still singing? It's very hard not to. Welcome to the morning movie memo here at Cinema Blend, where we like to catch you up on everything that happened over the weekend and some major news coming up in the week ahead. And when we were going over the topics that we wanted to touch on this Monday to introduce you guys to the movie week, we had a couple different options. We had the Directors Guild gave Alfonso Cuarón of Gravity their trophy over the weekend, which I think seems to solidify his position as frontrunner for the Oscar. I still don't know if Gravity has the best picture in the bag. That might go to 12 Years a Slave. We could have talked about the Maleficent clip that aired during the Grammys last night that we put up on the site, and I'll link to it down below. And that kind of exploded. Like, as soon as we put it on the site, a lot of people were checking it out. It seems like there's a lot of interest in Maleficent and that it could be a breakout hit. But when box office figures came out on Sunday, it was nearly impossible for us not to address the overwhelming success of yet another Disney film, not Maleficent, but Frozen. Still a huge, huge holdover hit, and one that we really needed to sort of stop and talk about because it's doing gangbusters domestically and internationally, and still has some other foreign territories to go. And I want to run through just a couple of figures for you and talk about some of the benchmarks that the film has crossed, and then maybe get into some of the reasons why we think that it's blowing up the way that it has. At $347 million domestically, Frozen over the weekend became the highest grossing original animated movie ever. It passed Finding Nemo, which is a Pixar film, obviously, and everything above it, I think the next movie right above it is Despicable Me 2, so everything else above it is a sequel. So incredibly impressive. It has $810 million globally. $810 million, and it has two big markets still to come. It's going to open in China on February 5th. It's going to open in Japan on March 15th, which means that the people who sort of follow box office and predict these numbers think that $1 billion for Frozen is easily in the film's grasp. You just need to sort of stop and clap your hands for, an original animated film connecting with an audience on a global level, and Frozen is definitely an example of a film that's just sort of exceeded expectations. And we wanted to sit back and sort of talk about why, and I'd love for you to chime in the comment section below as to why you think Frozen is doing so well at the box office. But I came up with 5 reasons that I think that this film is just resonating with audience members of all ages and all demographics. I mean, if you just hang out in movie circles and talk, Frozen's going to come up at some point, and I hear from regular moviegoers, the general moviegoing population, that they've gone back to see Frozen multiple times. If you're family members, you brought your kids, but I'm jumping ahead. The main reason why I think that Frozen's doing so well, or that it's been such a big hit for Disney, is the release date. Very calculated move on Disney's part to release it in November. They were able to capitalize on the Thanksgiving holiday. They were able to sustain that momentum into the Christmas season. Christmas gifts, holiday gifts, just kids being off from school and being able to escape to the theater with families. I know that Frozen has done really well with families who've been looking for things to do with their kids, and so capitalizing on both of those holidays and coming out when it did was a huge move for Disney. Now, it was a gamble, if for this reason. Frozen had to go up against Thor, The Dark World, and it also had to go up against The Hunger Games, Catching Fire. And the funny thing is, like, both of those movies did really well also, but Frozen still was able to compete against them, pull in its own audience, and keep building on that momentum. And the part of the reason for that is going to be what I'm getting into in the next few parts. Number 2 is the music. I mean, if you, at the start of this clip, if you weren't singing along to Let It Go, the Oscar-nominated song, then I think you're soulless, because the music and the songs in this movie are just connecting with an audience. I mean, obviously, it's getting Oscar nominations. The soundtrack was doing incredibly well on its own on the Billboard charts. We're seeing these tribute videos, people doing, their own spoofs, their own homages to Frozen songs. I mean, I don't know when you'd have to go back to. The Lion King seems to be the one where, like, Hakuna Matata broke through the pop culture, but I can't think of the last Disney animated film that had this number of songs that people wanted to sort of just own on their own, that became their own little standalone hits that you associate with the movie too. I put, when I wrote about Frozen the first time, that it's sort of built for Broadway. We've heard these rumors, I'll link to them down below, that they are going to look into a Broadway show. It just, it has that feel. It's those big showstopper musicals, to the point where Disney's wisely bringing a sing-along version back to theaters this Friday. And so the musical theater folks who are really buying into what Frozen is doing will be able to go and sing along with the screen in a sort of Rocky Horror Picture sort of way. Very smart move on Disney's part to capitalize on the way that the music is powering the success of this movie. So, which brings me to the third point, which is the marketing. Brilliant. I mean, Disney's just doing a great job in the marketing. Again, it goes into the release date, but it's wintertime, and you're selling a movie called Frozen, which is all snow and snowmen and blizzards, and that works. They're able to funnel all of this Frozen gear and merchandise. Olaf, we have an Olaf. If you've been into a Disney store, if you've been anywhere near a Disney park, I guarantee that you're seeing people like him. You're seeing the soundtrack. I have the soundtrack here somewhere. Just a great job on Disney's part. Now, obviously, Disney knows how to market, and sometimes Disney and Pixar make movies just to market. I'm looking at you, Cars 2. But Frozen is a movie that's a movie first, and then just has some great merchandise to go along with it. So I could see that keeping Frozen in your house, in your kids' hands in some way, shape, or form for months to come. And then, God forbid, when that DVD and Blu-ray comes out, you're going to have it. You're going to be playing it on your machine often. So, every once in a while, Disney lucks into a movie that just sort of sets itself up for great marketing, and Frozen's definitely turning out to be one of those things. The fourth point, excuse me, is the comic relief. I'm going to go back to Olaf just for a second, because it wasn't until I watched the movie a couple of times that I realized that the character of Olaf is a traditional example of Disney comic relief, where you hire a comedian and he steals scenes with the way that his lines are read. And recent Disney films like Tangled and Wreck-It Ralph, they didn't have that, and I didn't realize that it was missing. Where you used to be guaranteed, a genie from Aladdin, or the dragon from Mulan, and you'd get Eddie Murphy, or you'd get Robin Williams. Not that Josh Gad is like a standout, stand-up comedian, but he knows enough to, he knows how to tweak his line readings, he knows how to deliver really funny punchlines, and I think the character of Olaf is powering this film also, because it's a Disney princess story, essentially, but my boys, I have a soon-to-be 10-year-old, soon-to-be 6-year-old, they love Olaf, and they quote Olaf lines, and I think that humor is sticking with them. So, yet another reason why I think that Frozen is still just resonating and leading to return business. Which brings me to the fifth point, which is probably the most obvious point, and could have been, points 1 through 5, if you didn't go for the release date, the music, the merchandise, and the humor, and that's just, they made a great movie. Disney made a great movie that word of mouth is powering, that just the general reaction of the audiences is powering. You come out of Frozen and you want to tell other people who haven't seen it, go see Frozen. You come out of Frozen and you want to see it again. You see the trailer for Frozen, or you hear some of the music and you think, I can't wait to see that again. Let's go, let's bring the whole family. It appeals to every demographic. It's kids, it's parents, it's men, women, children, it's all of it. It's cliched to say, but it checks off all the boxes, and that's what a great movie should do. That's what a great movie does and should do. It offers a little bit of something for everybody, and you can go back repeated times and get something new out of it. It's not going to appeal to you on the deepest level in the world, but it's just entertaining, and I think it's a nice reminder to Hollywood that if you dedicate your creativity and your forces and you come up with an original, fun, entertaining movie, people are going to come and support it. So, more of that. And original. Like I said, highest grossing original animated movie ever. You don't have to crank out sequel after sequel. You can give us new characters that we love to celebrate. You can give us new storylines that we love to explore. And you can write some original songs that we're going to, play in our cars or plug into our iPads and sing along to, like they did with Frozen. So, was it a fluke? Maybe. Maybe it was just one of those big hits that Disney used to be able to do on a regular basis and just needed to crank out one more time. Will we see something like Frozen again this year? I mean, who's to say? Hard to tell. But let's celebrate that we have it right now and just recognize all of these benchmarks that this incredibly entertaining animated film is knocking down on his way through the box office. I hope personally that it gets to $1 billion. I just would love to see something winning and fun and entertaining as Frozen get to $1 billion. So tell us in the comment section below. Let us know why you think Frozen is doing so well. Let us know the reasons why you love Frozen. If you haven't seen Frozen, tell me in the comment section why you're avoiding it. And if you, let's say, hate Frozen, did you go see Frozen and it just didn't work for you? I want to hear from you too. Weigh in the comment section below. Let us know everything you love about Frozen, hate about Frozen, think about Frozen. We're getting to the point where we have to stop talking about Frozen. I mean, there's so many topics that you can get into. But we're going to have the sing-along review coming up this Friday. I think Christy's going to do a GIF review for us because she's elated the fact that it's coming back to sing-along versions. And we'll cover the home video release when it comes out too. So it's your chance to sing everything you want to sing about Frozen. Weigh in the comment section below. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Monday Movie Memo. Go impress your colleagues, friends, and family with all this knowledge that we've imparted on you. And thanks for watching Cinema Blend's latest video series. We appreciate it.